If any human wants to ask a machine to perform a task, then this human must provide a program to a machine. Without programs, no machine can perform a task. We know that program is a set of instructions which are useful for a machine to accomplish any task. So whatever program we provide, that will be read by the machine, and machine simply follows our instructions. But you know what? Every machine understands only machine language, which is binary code, which are zeros and ones. So if anybody expects a machine to perform a task, we have to provide instructions which are understandable by the machine, which are zeros and ones. Initial days, we human beings used to provide our ideas or instructions with zeros and ones. It is really tough task to a human to provide all our ideas with zeros and ones. If you take like single character A, which is uppercase A, we know that its ASCII code is 65. Again, this 65 will have binary code. Now that conversion is big deal for us. Then slowly human beings started using some assembly languages which are little familiar to the human and also understandable by the processor. We people again started evolving new programming languages which we call them as high-level programming languages. C, C++, Java, Python, whatever programming language we are using these days, those are high-level programming languages. All the programmers are interested to use these high-level programming languages as their script is English. But with respect to the machine, those C, Java and all high-level, the machine cannot understand the language what you provide. So there is some gap between the programmer and the machine. Programmer is writing programs with high-level programming languages. Machine can understand only zeros and ones. So a programmer writes a program with high-level programming language. That must be given to the translator. That translator job is converting high-level language into machine understandable format. Then who is the translator? Is it a human being who will translate high-level to machine language? No. Even this translator is a program. Where is it available? Who will provide it? Whoever invent high-level programming language, who is the creator of that, he will also provide some translator to convert the high-level programming language to machine language. Every high-level programming language will have its own translators. There are two different types of translators. One is compiler, other is interpreter. Then what is the major difference between compiler and interpreter? If we consider the compiler will take the whole program as input, convert all the statements into machine understandable format. That converted code will be placed into a new file, which is maybe exe file. And then that exe file will be given for execution purpose. It will convert all of them at a time. But when you consider interpreter, it will take only one statement of your program, convert into machine understandable format, execute it. Next statement, convert, execute, goes on like that. If you consider C and C++, they are choosing compiler. If you consider Python, JavaScript or any other scripting languages, those are all interpreted programming languages. When you take Java and C#, they are following both compiler and also interpreter. Then what is the difference between these two types of programming languages? So what is happening with compiled programming languages? Let's say I'm the developer, I'm trying to develop some application, maybe for a client. In this case, I will not give the source code to the end user. Instead, whatever compiled version I have, this will be transferred to him. Now the end user simply use this exe file and then start executing on his machine. If you observe, most of the files what you download from the internet, those are all exe files, which are executables. We can run them directly without any compilation. So in this whole flow, the program is converted into machine code only one time. Now let us consider interpreted programming languages. So in the case of this interpreter, it is not generating any new file. So again, every time in the future, this program must be converted into machine understandable format. If somebody else asks me, then I have to transfer this source code as I don't have any compiled version. Then once this source code is given to his machine, on his machine, he must have his own interpreter. That interpreter again convert for execution. Let's say if somebody's aim is executing Python code on their machine, they need to have Python interpreter on their machine. Somehow this interpreter will kill my time. Then which is better, whether compiler or interpreter? Both of them have their pros and cons. So these are the pros and cons with compilers and interpreters. Do we have these compilers or interpreters on our machine by default? No, we don't. Mostly have to download. Every language will have its related either compiler or interpreter. We have to download from the internet and install on the machine. We have to make our machine ready for executing or compiling some particular language. As a programmer, can I decide whether to use compiler or interpreter? No, it's not in our hands. This is already the decision taken by the language creators who have developed a programming language. For every programming language, they have provided some translator and they have chosen either compiler or interpreter. But we can decide the programming language what is to be chosen for developing some application, but not compiler or interpreter.